Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage, and today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. Before we jump into the price action, just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. So we're going to be discussing what we think is going to happen after this move to the upside here. So there are a few options, and we need to just be a little bit cautious within this because I'm going to go over these alternative fourths and fifths here within the video. But my primary expectation is still the potential that we are looking to begin this C wave to the upside. So a 1-to-1 would actually look to take us up towards this zone here of this 32,689. With some of these other areas here being the 1.236, 1382, and the 1.618. If we move above this 1.618, then it becomes more likely that this is a bigger trending move, which would be this 44,914. But we haven't confirmed that, so we need to just be a little bit cautious and see whether we actually manage to hold this low of this fourth wave or this B wave here at this 19,576. Okay, so in the immediate short term, what I'm looking for within this structure is basically looking for the potential that we're within this breakout, and basically what I'm looking for is potentially this move here is already completed into this high. It is, however, possible that we still have a fourth wave here. If we count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with an extension in this fifth wave here for this internal leg here, then potentially that sets us up with having this additional fourth wave. So I am being on the lookout. And if we were looking at this structure here, what we'd be looking at is potentially a flat in the wave two. So what I'm looking out for within this is basically looking for a zigzag in this space. If we do get a zigzag to the downside here, potentially this could be that wave four, and then we could look to push up again one more time towards this 28,936 to this 27,353. So this is still a viable count, though we need to be aware that it is possible that we have actually completed this wave one into this point. So if we do get a zigzag down here and potentially we come down into this zone here of this 22,704 to this 20,847, potentially what we then have is that possibility of looking for a bigger five-wave structure here, which would potentially look to take us up. If we move down to this 0.618, which is this 21,919, potentially we could be looking to move up in a third wave towards this 35.5 range. Depending on how low we come here, this will change how this actually works out. So primarily what I'm looking to see is whether we actually maintain this area higher here. And I have drawn this channel on here just based off of this zone here where the wave 2 is and onto this wave 3, and then basically just project this to the downside. So I'm looking for that potential that, we have this as an A, a B, and potentially a C wave to the downside here. And then from there, what we'll be looking out for is whether we develop five-wave structure to the upside, which looks to break up. And then if we do, whether this actually finds support again and looks to extend up like this. What we would have to be cautious of is, like I said, potentially we have this as a fifth wave. So, if we do develop five-wave move up here, potentially then we develop a bigger three-wave move that actually looks to take this low point and actually retrace deeper and find support again. Then potentially this whole move here would only then be completed and looking for that possibility to push to the upside from that point. So it's going to be key if we're holding this 50% area, this 22,817, for whether we can look for this possibility of having this fifth wave to the upside still. However, we also need to be cautious. Like I said, we could argue that potentially if we do move down in a zigzag, that could become our wave two within this move, and then we could actually look to progress from there. Or alternatively, this could get a bit more complex. So this becomes an A, we get a move back up for a B, and then we get a C wave down and actually look to retest these lower areas. So we're going to have to see how we react off of the back of this move here. Okay, so that is basically what I'm primarily looking for. If, however, we break down deeper here and we start to lose this 20,847, we'd need to be aware of two other possibilities within this count. So I've been looking at this move to the upside. So if we fail to hold that key zone that we were talking about, potentially what we could have is something playing out like this, where we actually are still within a corrective move to the downside. So if we actually break this low, potentially what we could have here is this just as a B wave. I don't really like discounting it as a B wave, but nevertheless, if we do take this low, then we can potentially argue, like what we talked about in the previous video, this does look a bit suspicious, this internal leg here. Like I said, we can count it as a 1-2 within here, but I'm just being cautious of the fact, this whole thing could be a B, C, D, E as a triangle within here, which cannot be a wave 2, in which case we'd have something like this as an A, B, C. This is a connector wave here, and then basically a B and a C to the upside here again. So that would then be looking at this move potentially as a WX and a Y to the upside. So it's going to be key that we hold those support areas. If we fail to do so, potentially that could mean that we drop back down here towards this 19,450 to this 17,693. But primarily, I am looking to see whether those support ranges hold. But if they do fail, potentially we could look to actually move down into this zone. So that's just a key area, this 19,450 to this 17,693 area. So this would bring us back down deeper into the support box, potentially looking to actually bring us back down towards this towards the 618 area. Would be between that 50% and that 618. So, losing this 1704 though, if we do move down this low, would actually indicate that there is potentially something else going on here, and we could actually still be looking at that possibility for a flat correction in a fourth wave. So I haven't quite put it to bed yet, that idea that, let me just turn this off, that within this whole structure, we could have this all as a fourth wave. Still, it is pretty much on its last legs here, but if we look at this move slightly different, and basically the way I was initially looking at it was basically that we have completed into this high, but we can also argue that potentially if we move this structure around a little bit and we say we had a diagonal here with a flat correction instead, potentially what we could argue is that maybe this third wave is actually here. We have a fourth wave here and we have a fifth wave to the upside. So there's a couple of reasons why I'm looking at this possibility um, as an alternate count. So I'm going to turn this on and turn this on. Let me turn off that. So within this structure, if we look at this move slightly differently here, what I'm looking for is that the possibility that we could have, like I said, something like this rather playing out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So we came up exactly to that 0.618 of the wave 1 to 3. So that is a typical target of a fifth wave. And if we do reverse from here, potentially this could actually indicate that this is the correct count. So if we fail to hold this fourth wave low here, potentially what we would then be looking for would be either the possibility that, we could still see that break to the downside in a bigger five-wave structure here, or alternatively, potentially we could look to have a three-wave move down back into the support zone again, this 20,757 to the 17,104 in a three-wave structure, and still look to progress to the upside. So primarily I'm looking for those key points, like I said, that to see whether we get that additional fourth and the fifth wave to the upside here. If we do, potentially it could mean that we actually come back and retest this channel, which would be up here towards this 27,000 area. Um, that would be an interesting area, if we do move back up here one more time, and then look to complete that, and then see whether we actually find support. So if this move, like I said, even if we do get another push to the upside here, if this move then finds support again in that zone of potentially that 618 to that sorry, 50% to that 786, potentially, we can still look for that continuation to the upside. But if we start to lose that 786, we need to just be cautious. Like I said, if we're looking at this slightly different, potentially we could argue this is a valid count here, and this could then be the fifth wave completed. If this is the fifth wave completed, we're in the same situation as we were pretty much over here, where we need to see whether we actually come back and find support in this range or whether we actually start to fall off from here. So if we start to develop bigger five-wave structure to the downside, potentially that could be setting us up for a 1 and a 2. Alternatively, it could also just be, like I said, in that previous option, is that this could be an A, B, and a C. So if the key thing here is there is that potential to actually take this low still. We need to give it some time here and see whether we actually manage to hold this zone here, or whether this finds support and starts to move away. Until it does, we need to just be a bit cautious, because if this does start to break down, potentially it could be an A, a B, and a C, and that B wave isn't completed and that fifth wave is here. And then basically, this whole thing is just a bigger B wave to the downside here as a flat correction. Uh, and then, potentially from there, we could start to look to move to the upside. So the key thing to take away from this is there is that possibility to come back into this box area, and there is the possibility to actually retest some of these lower zones here. So we need to just wait for that confirmation within this. If we're looking for this bullish case here, primarily I'm looking to see whether we have this additional fourth wave here in between this 24,634 to this 22,817. If we do lose this 22,817, potentially we could be looking to find support lower down here. But if we start to lose this 20,847 area, it becomes more likely that actually, like I said, either this is an A, a B, and a C, or potentially our fifth wave completes into this high, and we're looking for that correction to start from this point. And we're going to actually look to come back and potentially retest this channel again. Um, yeah, so that's what we're going to have to keep an eye on. Okay, I hope you found the video useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback back down below in the comments section. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, there is affiliate links for both Primex BT and BYBIT down there. Check them out, both great exchanges. We use them all the time for our trading. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.